This is Ryan Perrella here. I'm sitting in a very comfortable seat right now. I'm sitting in the last Speedster in the United States right now. Just filling it up with gas right now, and before I take it into my detail department, I wanted to show a couple items of note on the car. This will translate to any other 997s that you may be looking at, and what I wanted to briefly do was show you some of the basic controls for both PCM, which is this unit that I'm looking at right now. That's Porsche Communication Management. I'll also discuss the heating, ventilation controls, Sport and Sport Plus, and the PDK gear levers. And I guess I can show you how to operate the parking brake too. So first thing we'll look at are the instruments. Going from left to right, we're going to look at oil temperature. Then we've got an analog speedometer with the odometer and trip meter. Also on here is the dimmer switch. When the lights are on, the dimmer functions like this. You just turn the knob and that will dim the instrumentation on the car. Now right dead center is the tachometer. In any proper race car or sports car, the tachometer should always be dead center. That's where it is in the 911. You notice a couple little indicators here. First of which is the brake, showing that the parking brake is on. Additionally, I have a red exclamation point. What that's showing me is that I've also got a tire pressure monitoring problem, or not a problem, rather, it's showing me that I have low tire pressure. So I can show you that by scrolling through the menu, and then you see the discrepancy with the tire pressure. So we're a bit high on the front, on the left side, a bit low on the right side, and that explains the tire light. So that will be adjusted shortly. Moving on, we've got a fuel gauge here. We have a PDK gear selector gauge, and then we've also got water temperature. Water temperature is in the top there. 175 is considered normal. Down below you've got a clock and ambient temperature, and then on the side here we have oil pressure. Generally, with the revs go up, oil pressure goes up, so on and so forth. So one thing I noticed here was the gear selector. So let me just show you that briefly. I'm going to pan down to the PDK gear lever. Really simple. When you start the car, you want to press the foot on the brake and you move the gear selector back. Right now I'm in neutral. You'll notice that little red light has now moved to neutral. If I move it into drive, the light goes to D, and then I see a 1, and normally I can adjust the gears on the paddles here, and that's a downshift on that side. But otherwise, we can also shift the gearbox into this mode. This is the manual mode. You'll notice the M right here designating that. So what you can do here, if you're in manual, you can shift the gears one of two ways. You can go forward just to tap, or back for a downshift. This is kind of the tipping motion. It's a really nice spring-loaded action, and that works really well. Additionally, you can, as I mentioned, use the shift paddles yourself. When you want to get out of M mode, which is where we're in now, you notice the red light has gone from D to M. We just shift the gear lever over back into automatic, and just like that, the light is in D now. So we're going to put it back into park. Parking brake is on. Let me show you a couple of the features. Actually, before we get over to PCM, let me show you this menu system here. This is pretty cool stuff. So what you can do is you can scroll through a couple different items, and the way you do that is from this little lever right here. This controls basically the onboard computer. We'll open up the door a little bit here, and you can see it's the second stalk. So what we do, this works one of 4 ways. It's a 4-position switch. We push it forward. I always say you push it forward towards the dash. That's considered an enter command. You pull it back. That's considered a cancel. So we've got enter and cancel. And additionally, we can scroll up or down. And I'll show you what that looks like here on the screen. So we're going to cycle through a couple menus. This is what you'll normally see when you're driving the car. Right now we can show miles per gallon. I just reset that, so we're not going to see anything. This is average speed. If you have a navigation directions input, they will also show up on the display here, which is really cool. Also show you a turn indicator as well. And then we've got tire pressure. When I drive my car, I'm typically looking at the tire pressures always, and if I'm just kind of on a relaxing drive or something, I'll play with the audio channels or something. Now, in these menus, you've also got sub-menu systems. So one of the things you can do through here, everybody asks me how you activate Sport Chrono, which is this guy here. You do that through this display. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit enter. Now, by being in this system, just hitting enter again, I get a sub-menu, and we can go through those various things really quickly here. Limit is a speed limit. I set it at 80 on my car so that whenever the car reaches 80 miles an hour, you hear a soft, chime, just kind of warning you that you're going over a certain speed that you set. Info will recall messages, service messages, and so on. This one's showing that I'm -4 on air pressure, so I'm going to cancel out of that. Go down to telephone. Now, when the Bluetooth phone is set up, which I'll show you shortly, you'll be able to actually dial from this menu as well. So since there's no phone book connected, I won't be able to do that. At least not yet. So chrono, let's go to this. Now, when you start the chrono display, you're going to get to this menu, you're going to hit it again, and you're going to notice the timer starts. So let me show you over here what that looks like. So now we have the chrono display on, and it is ticking away. So once if you decide you want to stop that or you want to finish whatever you're timing, you can go to stop timing. You can then reset, or you can go to an interval timing, so on and so forth. You can play with that. Audio, we can just scroll through again through the different systems, or rather stations. I'm in XM right now, so I'm just listening to channel 53, which is chill. Additionally, we have navigation. Again, this will show, you can select here whether you want to put your route guidance information in the display or not. And I just clicked that again, and now I've got the map screen up on the PCM. So I'm going to take that off because I don't want to hear the voice direction. So I'm just going to press enter again to uncheck that, and then cancel out of the menu. Oil, this is how you check the oil pressure on the car, the oil level. Just go to this menu. It's really simple on the 911s. Now, different years will vary whether the car needs to be running or not. On a 2011 Speedster, you measure the oil level while the car is running. So we're just over full, so we're set there. Tire pressure monitoring. This is where you can adjust measurements if you change the load of the tires, if you change to snow tires, or if you change wheel sizes. If you have an 18-inch wheel and you're going to a 19, this is the menu that you would go to change the information on the cars. So if we go to info tires, we can go to summer tires, we can adjust pressure, sizes, and various different things. Set, this is going to show your units, your display. You can reset all your particulars like the average miles per gallon, average speed, so on and so forth. So that's basically what the multifunction computer does. It's really simple. Once you start using it, it's quite easy to do it. I use the thing and I don't even think about it, so it becomes quite easy. So moving on here, let's take a look at PCM. Now, the main buttons you're going to look at on this display are these ones down here. These are kind of the main navigation buttons for the entire system. First off, let me show you some of these more noticeable buttons. You've got a call receive. Sorry, this is call receive. This is call hang up. You've also got the eject button for the disc. This car should have a 6-disc changer in it, I believe, and that will eject one of 6 discs. And there you go. So additionally, you've got some arrow buttons. As you can imagine, those will change on what they do depending on what mode you're in. They'll move tracks forward or back. They'll make other adjustments. Source is a good kind of a quick use button. This is where you'll select whether you want to go to auxiliary or disc. This is just setting the audio of the car. So if you want to switch to AM, you can do all these different things, and of course it's all touch interface. Additionally, you can use this button here to select, and then press it again to enter. Sound is where you're going to control the sound settings of the car. So I'm going to turn the bass down a little bit, and you can adjust all of these. Now there's a separate sound setting whether you're in iPod, FM, auxiliary, XM. They all have their own kind of unique tunability. So you might want to set different ones for different media or different formats. So let's go out of there. This button right here is also one you're going to get very familiar with. This is the go back button. You just hit that and you'll reverse back from whatever menu you're in. So for instance, if I'm in tuner and I go to options and I'm playing with different stuff, if I just press back, it'll just get out of there. So now back to these main buttons. We have tuner, disc. Tuner will control these items here, AM, FM, SAT. So if you press them, each press will move it over to the next option. Disc is going to do two things. It's going to do the CD drive and the media. So whether it's auxiliary or iPod. I don't have an iPod hooked up in this car, so that's not going to show up. But once it is, it will recognize that. Before I get to phone, we'll just show you the map real quick. Now the map has a bunch of different options on it. By always hitting the option key or this little folder button here, you can always get to the options. We'll go back to map, but then I'll hit option again. And what you can do here is you can set the map layout. You can choose to see a full screen map, or you can choose to see a, let's do something different here. We can show map with guidance, so it'll show a partial map and guidance on the other side. It's actually not going to look very good because I don't have anything set as to where to guide me to, so that's why it's showing full map. But anyway, that's what you can do for the map. Additionally, there's a couple other options. You can change, show points of interest or the view of the map. There's a bird's eye view, which is kind of cool. We'll go back out of that, and you got to change another setting to get there. So that's the bird's eye view, and then you can tap in, and then you can press to zoom in or zoom out here, and you can adjust additionally where you move the cursor or so on. So let's get out of there. Now Navi is a little bit different from map. Map is literally just going to show you the map where you're located. Navi is where you're going to go to enter addresses and store destinations and so on. So entering addresses is pretty easy. What we're going to do here, we can just press this. First thing you're going to do is you're going to have to select country. You only need to select it once. We'll go into state, so we'll go down to California. And again, we can use the scroll wheel or the touch interface. Hit a street. Let's do Wilshire. And this is also predictive, so notice that only selectable keys will be selectable, basically. So if we go into Wilshire, we're going to H. Eventually, we'll get to something where we can list the destination. So we've got Wilshire Avenue. That's not actually where we're trying to go. We're trying to go to Wilshire Boulevard. So we'll click that, and we'll input the city. We're going to go to Beverly Hills, and immediately it just pulls that right up. So you only have to press B to get to Beverly Hills. We'll enter our address, which is 8425. Enter, and then